Good morning, everyone. Indeed, the globe has seen a remarkable expansion in technology, and the need for standards reconciles teacher education degrees to demonstrate proficiency in the use of information and communications technology in promoting quality teaching learning process. I am JC Mercado. You can call me JC, and it is my great pleasure to introduce and discuss to you the different applications of information and communications technology competency in the 21st century classrooms. First, to briefly define ICT, it is a general common understanding emerging from various literatures defining information and communications technology as those technologies that are used for accessing, gathering, manipulating, and presenting information. And there are different standards aligned into it. These standards are designed to ensure that teachers demonstrate proficiency in the development of information and communications technology in promoting quality teaching learning process. There are about 7 domains, and each domain has a set of competencies that I am about to discuss. The first domain is to understand ICT in education. This means that as a future educator, I am expected to demonstrate an awareness of the different ICT policies in education, comply to it, and of course, contextualize ICT in the learning environment. It is through the discussion, implementation, and incorporation of ICT policies in the class. For example, I can employ interactive whiteboards to make discussions more compelling and visible. Complex contents can also be taught most engagingly while providing specific examples for the whole class. Second, using ICT in the curriculum and assessment. This means demonstrating an understanding on the different ICT concepts, evaluating digital and non-digital resources, developing digital learning resources, and of course, using ICT tools to develop 21st century skills. As a future teacher, I can use these ICT concepts, assessment process, student learning preferences, and digital materials. I can use Google Docs, which is a productivity suite that is free for anyone to use. I can instantly have access to a word processor, spreadsheet applications, and presentation creator. Third, using ICT in pedagogy. This means applying relevant technology tools in classroom activities, solving complex problems, supporting student collaborative activities, and of course, modeling collaborative knowledge construction. As a future teacher, I should know how to design a technology-enhanced lesson, use varied teaching strategies, and of course, initiate flexible learning. For example, to foster collaborative work for my students, I can instruct them to use Canva in designing their own posters reflecting on the different social issues nowadays. Fourth is using ICT in technological tools. This is to demonstrate competence in the technical operations of technology. Use technology to create new learning possibilities and opportunities. And of course, demonstrate proficiency in the use of technology to promote quality teaching learning process. As a future teacher, I am expected to maintain technology tools, improve student learning, and promote continuous learning. For example, I can use Google Meet to monitor the progress and achievement of my students. This also helps me to collaborate with them real-time despite of geographical distances. Fifth is using ICT in organization and administration. This is to manage technology-assisted instruction in an inclusive learning environment. And of course, exhibit leadership in a shared decision-making using ICT. As a future teacher, I should know how to facilitate flexible learning environment and of course establish group activities that uses technological tools. For example, I can utilize Edmodo. This device allows both instructors and learners to collaborate on projects and promote creative thinking abilities. Sixth is to use ICT in teacher professional learning. This is to explore emerging technological tools in acquiring additional content. Utilize technological tools in creating communities of practice, and of course, collaborate with peers, colleagues, and stakeholders. As a future teacher, I should know how to evaluate, collaborate, share, and use resources. For example, in introducing research to my students in a computer laboratory, I can instruct them to examine different sources that are credible and not credible so that they may understand how to examine resources critically. Lastly is using ICT in teacher disposition. This is to demonstrate social, ethical, and legal responsibility in the use of technological tools and resources. And of course, showing positive attitude in the use of these technological tools. It is paramount that I teach my students the essence of media literacy. It begins with an implicit obligation to examine a data source for trustworthiness and reliability. It is done by educating my students in searching resources, citing references properly, and of course, checking the author. To wrap up, these ICT competency standards shape supplementary possibilities over vast geographical distances to achieve learning intentions. This helps me, and of course us teachers, to develop professional growth, empowerment, competence, and of course, creativity. In that sense, do we have any questions? Alright, if you have no questions, then that concludes the different ICT competency standards that promotes quality teaching learning process. Once again, I am GC Mercado. Thank you for listening.